except it's better now. It's actually better. The depth of material. We play music that spans, almost 40 years, 35 years of work.
Yeah, that's good.
Everything is covered. Everything, all different parts of your life and your experience. And we're probably one of the few groups that over the past decade, we've written a lot of music that, in our show at least, have become like modern classics. The Rising, Lonesome Day, Radio Nowhere, things that our audience, besides our old music, new music that our audience took to their hearts, And that has created and made us an enormously vital musical unit,
Months after Magic, which was a record pessimistic and politically engaged, you come out with Working on a Dream, which is very optimistic somehow and political. Where did this change of mood came from?
I think after I wrote Magic, I felt like I'd covered what I wanted to say about the previous administration, about the state that I felt the country was in at the time. And I was just probably initially just looking to have some fun. And so I just started to write some songs, but I wanted the little symphonies and very 60s pop arrangement touches and strings and bells and a lot of harmonies like Beach Boys. But at this point, I don't sit down and write without writing about something that you're fundamentally concerned about, And so you get my age and, you have that oncoming train and that focuses the mind very clearly. So I think life and death and love became a big part of Working on a Dream.
But as the record came out at the beginning of a new political era, you could also look at it as your celebration of an enlightenment of the time.
That's why I think that's where the title came from, And it's a big song in the show. And people respond to that, in a lot of different ways in the show. So it was timely in its own way, timely in its own way.
On October the 4th, last year, here in Philadelphia, you were saying your famous speech, I want my America back.
Right.
Our sacred house of dreams has been abused, it's been looted, and it's been left in a terrible state of disrepair. It needs care, it needs saving, and it needs defending against those who'd sell it down the river for power for a quick buck. It needs strong arms. It needs a citizenry with strong arms, hearts, and minds. It needs someone with Senator Obama's understanding, his temperateness, his deliberativeness, his maturity, compassion, toughness, and faith to help us rebuild our house once again.
So 6 months later, would you say that your dream came true, or it's on the way?
Well, I think I think because of all the damage that was done and all the subversion of just basic democratic ideals, it takes a long time to put that together. That's what that song Long Walk Home was about on the Magic record. But I think we're in much better shape we were than we were 6 months ago, They're talking about closing Guantanamo base in a year. The releasing of the torture memos of the past couple of weeks, some of the Bush, those things have all been important. I think he's made headway on a lot of the promises that he's made about bringing the United States simply back under the rule of law, which is what we fought for in that election. We wanted a president who would restore democratic ideals and bring the country back under the rule of law. and make it a part of the international community once again. You know, so I think we have been on the way to that happening. So I'm happy about that.
You know, there was a comment, I think it was last week, of Bob Dylan about Obama. He was talking about him like, you know, those guys coming in with best intentions, but losing their way or having to compromise at some point.
And there is always a danger of losing your way, period, you know. I think that becomes, the pressure is I'm sure, I can't imagine it's got to be enormous once you're at that office. But he's one of the smartest people I've ever seen. His sense of self is very, very firm, you know. He's not wondering what he's doing there, you know. And I believe he's going to make headway on some fundamental problems we've had in the States for a long time. He's certainly our best hope so far, so I'm hoping.
You know, Obama said that he settled down for the presidency when he accepted reality and admitted that he would never be Bruce Springsteen. So
I think he was just being kind.
So, you know, the White House is second best, and in a way...
I think we were raising some money for him that night, so maybe he was just being kind. But...
that gives you some responsibility somehow.
You know, I wouldn't want to be the president. I'll tell you, that's a lot easier being Bruce Springsteen. It has its bumpy spots, but for the most part, it's a good job, you know.
Do you still see yourself as an alternative voice now that you have less things to fight against?
Well, I just think that, you know, this thing, you're always the canary in the coal mine. That just comes with the job description of a certain type of artist, you know. I don't think that would change now any more than it would change if somebody else was in office. If you come see the show tonight, hey, we're doing The Ghost of Tom Joad, we're doing Johnny 99, we're doing Seeds, because those are songs that have relevance right now in the recession and the hard times that the country is going through, you know. So those are hard-hitting, critical songs that say these issues, you know, people losing their homes, people out of work, at levels not seen for a very, 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 very long time here in the States. These are urgent issues that need to be addressed. And we'll be continuing to add our voice to, you know, to the people calling for those kinds of changes. So I think that you've worked for someone to get elected because they're the best possible hope out there. And then you continue your job, which is primarily a critical voice, you know, and no matter who's in there. And it's an ongoing part of who you are. I mean, I wrote The Ghost of Tom Joad during the Clinton administration, you know.